How would you feel about $500 monthly checks for everyone, or possibly even more than 500? I'm guessing you probably agree with this and possibly even wondering, that sounds pretty good right now. I could easily use an extra $500 per month. How do I sign up and how do I get this extra money? These are really good questions, and again, what I want to focus on here in this video, because this is actually a very popular thing right now, so let's get into it and talk through the details. First off, can I ask a huge favor of you? Please make sure to like the video with a big thumbs up button down below. Thank you so much, really appreciate it. Also, if you haven't done so yet, please make sure to join the community by hitting the subscribe button right down below. Again, thank you so much, really appreciate your support, and welcome to the community. If you haven't been here yet, thank you so much for watching, and let's talk through the details. All right, so this is actually very popular, and there's a large coalition across the entire country, which honestly sounds a little bit weird to say a coalition. Like, okay, is it good or bad, or like, what's this coalition thing, right? Well, it's actually, in this case, probably a pretty good thing, because it is mayors for a guaranteed income. In other words, it's dozens and dozens of elected officials across our entire country that are basically signing on to the support of ongoing monthly checks with no strings attached, guaranteed income, essentially, so that everybody has an income base or an income floor is what they all support. And they support these on local levels, state levels, and even federal levels, is with the mayors for a guaranteed income. So here's what's interesting about this. Way back, it's honestly not even that long ago, in 2019 was the very first guaranteed basic income program in Stockton, California. Okay, so they rolled it out. The mayor in Stockton, California rolled out a guaranteed basic income program, and they found it to be very effective. And that was just not that many years ago. What? 5 years ago or so, give or take a little bit, not that many years ago. Well, now, as you can see here, this massive list of all these different mayors that have signed on to this Mayors for a Guaranteed Income, and they're basically supporting it, saying, yep, I support guaranteed income on the local level, on the state level, and even on the federal level. So here's the thing as well. They continue to find study after study. They have all of these guaranteed income programs across the entire country. In fact, there's about 150 plus of these guaranteed basic income programs going on across the country, or that are currently in effect, or that have gone into effect over the last couple of years here. Possibly they ran their course and they expired, but about 150 of these things plus have actually gone into effect and sent out these no strings attached payments. Now, in most cases, a lot of these programs are $500 a month. That's what most of them are in general. However, there have been a few of them out there, like one in New York, for example, was $1,250 a month, simply because the cost of living in New York is significantly more than other areas. Don't get me wrong, there's a lot of expensive areas around the country that have a very high cost of living, but that was just one of them in New York as well, where they did the $1,250. But most cases, it's $500 a month, and there's all these different guaranteed basic income programs. So they continue to implement these all across the country, and more mayors are signing up on this coalition on a pretty regular basis. So the list of mayors is getting longer and longer and longer. Now, don't get me wrong. They're mayors. Do mayors have a whole lot of influence? Depends. Not really, but a little bit, right? They have a little bit. Kind of depends on the situation, but they're not governors. They're certainly not lawmakers on the federal level. They're not even lawmakers, kind of on the state level. I mean, kind of a little bit. They're more like managers, like of a certain area, city. But you kind of get the point, right? Either way, they are elected officials, and yeah, pretty important, because we're having all of these people that are signing on to basically no strings attached, guaranteed basic income programs, and that's essentially what they are. Now, I want to talk about this really quickly, because this is an interesting time that we're living in, okay? It was not that long ago, just a couple short years ago, we got basically the introduction of ChatGPT. You ever heard about it, right? If you haven't heard about it, I mean, look it up. Basically what it is a chat bot, right? It's basically a chat bot. You can write anything in there, and they'll give you answers. I mean, you could say anything you want. I mean, you could tell it to write you a 5-paragraph essay, and it'll do it, and it'll be pretty dang good too. So my point is, ever since that came out, we've been seeing AI, which has been around a very long time, way before ChatGPT, but AI's been around a while. But ever since the introduction of chat, we've been seeing this AI boom. It's been going nuts the last couple of years here. You're seeing it everywhere, like all over the place. It is everywhere. In fact, I would bet you that you've seen channels here on YouTube of basically AI channels. I'm certain you've seen these. I'm certain you've seen this. It doesn't matter what you watch. I'm certain you've seen AI channels out there and you may not even know it. Some of these channels are pretty good, or what I should say is some of the AI like generated information, not necessarily the information, but basically the people that they're impersonating it looks pretty good, honestly. I mean, it's pretty realistic. Sometimes it's really even hard to tell, but they're supposed to have disclaimers on their videos and things like that. But my point is, it's everywhere. This AI boom is everywhere. And it's taking over huge sections of the economy and different sectors, just all over the place. So as a result of that, we've seen people like high-profile people, Elon Musk, for example. Whether you like him or you don't like him, it doesn't really matter. The point is, even he has come out over the years and basically said, it's going to be inevitable. We will need to have some type of income floor, a high income, a basic income, a universal income, some kind of income support, because it's not going to be that long until we have basically this takeover of AI and robotics and sophisticated computers and technology that takes over huge sections of the overall economy where humans are no longer needed. I know that sounds super weird, but that's the situation that we're in right now. And at the pace that AI is expanding and growing, that's really what it comes down to. So long story short, because you might be wondering, this has nothing to do with a $500 monthly check. It actually does. And the whole reason behind this is because we continue to see these small pilot programs that are popping up across the country that are distributing these ongoing monthly checks to certain groups of people. That's generally what they are right now. But there has been discussion, and in fact, there's a piece of legislation that's out there. Look it up if you want to. It's called the Support Act. The Support Act, okay? It's out there. It was introduced a couple years ago. But what they want to do with this alone is send out $1,200 ongoing monthly checks every single month in and month out, for basically a 5-year period of time, that would send this money out to people because of the expansion of AI and sophisticated computers and stuff like that. Basically, just establishing an income floor and having this money go out to people. Now, the parameters about that are very kind of broad. It sends it out to a lot of people. Obviously, has not been approved yet, but that would be very inflationary. I like the idea, but I think it should be honed down quite a bit. In other words, I don't think it should go out to as many people as they're suggesting. And the group of people that should be getting it, I think they should really focus on the low income and fixed income, because those are the people that actually need it. But if they go too broad, then obviously we're going to get a massive amount of inflation. And that's kind of the situation here, okay? But anyway, long story short here, what I'm trying to say is that we've had multiple high-profile people out there come out over the last couple of years suggesting we must get and we must establish and we must get the framework and the infrastructure in place now for a guaranteed basic income program, not only on the local level, not only on the county level, not only on the city level, not on the state level, but on the federal level, on the national level, where everybody is basically out there, basically right on the cusp of getting something in the event that they need to roll this out, which they will. At some point, they'll need to do this. It's not a matter of if or when. It's a matter of just like, it's happening. When will they actually implement this, okay? Because there will be this massive, massive takeover of technology and AI and sophisticated computers and things like this at some point. It's probably honestly not going to be that long. A handful of years out from now, I mean, that could even be off. I mean, we could be a couple years, not that far out from when this thing takes place. And when it does, we've seen many lawmakers that have come out suggesting we've got to get the infrastructure in place so that when the time comes, we can literally just push the button and now we have a guaranteed basic income program on the national level. Is that going to make sense? Right? It's pretty interesting to watch this whole thing play out, especially if you don't follow any of this AI stuff. It's crazy. You don't need to watch it all that closely, but it's nuts to see how fast and how rapidly this is evolving. It's kind of scary. I mean, you've seen people come out there before suggesting that AI will basically be the demise of humans, of humanity, right? So there you go. So anyway, yeah, pretty weird situation, but this is what it comes down to. And between now and then, we will continue to see these pilot programs that are popping up all across the country that will continue to distribute these $500 monthly checks. Again, on average, most of them are $500 in most instances. But if these were to pop up in your backyard, let's just say in the county that you live in, the city that you live in, the state you live in, whatever, would you potentially be eligible for it? Well, I'd look into the parameters about it, but I would say if you're low income or if you're a fixed income person, for sure, you would most likely be included on that. Now, obviously, sometimes they're focused on certain groups, like sometimes they're focused on like young artists. That was literally one of them in New York, young artists. One of them, I think it was was it in Georgia or one of the Carolinas? I don't remember exactly where it was. I think it was in Georgia. It was focused on men, okay? They're men. I think there was another one in Alabama, focused just on single mothers, okay? So they're focused on a lot of different groups. Sometimes they're broad, sometimes they're very, very specific, but you just got to look for them, okay? But they're all over the place out there. These states have money, and they're trying to give it away in the form of these guaranteed income programs, these pilot programs, and they're doing it. And they will continue to do these programs, and I'll keep you posted on them. So I hope that helps you out to understand this a little bit more. I know it's kind of a weird situation, kind of a weird topic, but it's, yeah, interesting thing, and it's been happening for a few years now, and it will continue to happen. So I'll keep you posted on all this. As always, please make sure to like the video down below. Again, thumbs up button. Thank you so much. Really appreciate that. Otherwise, subscribe down below as well. Totally free to do so. Big subscribe button down there. Check out the other videos here on the channel, about 5,000 in the video library. The ones I've hand selected for you down below in the description or the top of the comment section. And right now showing up on your screen as well. You'll see some videos there. Thank you so much. Enjoy your day. Take care. And I'll catch you again later in